The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Hello, this is Donald, and for the next hour, I'll be reading from the July 30th issue of the Am-Pol Eagle on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Crowds and good weather shine on 46th Annual Polish-American Arts Festival by Steve Dlugosz. There may have been a few organizational and logistical changes to the 46th Annual Polish-American Arts Festival this year, though many of the same traditional elements that have held strong for nearly a half a century remained and were enjoyed by many from the Western New York community July 24 through 26 at Cheektowaga Town Park. A solid crowd of revelers were on hand to enjoy good weather and the companionship of friends and family this year. Polish music, dancing, food, and cultural themes were once again offered as part of the festival, which was presented by the Polish-American Congress, Western New York Division. The following is a snapshot of some of the sights on Saturday during the 3-day festival. The longtime polka band Dynabrass opened the musical component of the event Saturday outside of the grandstand main stage, while 7 performed under the pavilion to those looking to escape the heat in a covered area. Both of those bands have been staples of the entertainment aspect of the festival for many years. The Berlinski family of Allegheny, New York, was attending the event for the first time, perhaps in memory of their Polish grandfather. Max and Molly Berlinski, as well as their mother Laura Berlinski, looked at various souvenir options in the vendor tent and enjoyed laughs with one another. Laura said her late father has always wanted to attend the Polish-American Arts Festival. My father always wanted to come to this, Laura said. I'm just glad we had the chance to finally get here. It's a lot of fun, something the whole family can enjoy. Molly added while the group kept walking, imagine Grandpa could see us now. Elizabeth Broadfur's Buffalo Seminary Company was again on hand to present handmade butter lamb outfits for sale, the 12th consecutive year the business has been at the festival. Although inflation and tariffs were described as culprits in the business closing its main home shop, Buffalo Seamery still is operating online at various shows and events throughout the area, including the Polish-American Festival and Totally Buffalo Festival. It's tough with tariffs because people don't want to pay $20 for socks, and it's a business that doesn't want customers to incur that kind of cost, said Broadfur. But the shows and events do really well. The Polish Festival is always a great event. Cute as a Dumpling is a Pittsburgh-based brand created by 4 Polish-American sisters to celebrate Polish heritage through felt pierogi, ravioli, pickle, and other dumpling-themed ornaments and accessories. The business was on hand for the 3rd consecutive year at the festival to offer its unique hand-felted pierogi-themed items to customers. Cute as a Dumpling sells its products as far away as Gdańsk, Poland. The business is also unique in that it had partnered for more than a decade with a family-run workshop in Nepal. For the first time ever at the festival, Newfane-based Four Kings Distillery was present, coordinated by owners Mike and Susie Oaten, a couple possessing a quarter century of distillery experience. They said the most popular selling item was Krupnik, first introduced through the Four Kings by Mike Otten's grandparents in Niagara County. "We made a pretty delicious Krupnik," Susan said of the featured distilled products. "Krupnik seems to be popular among Western New York people. We're really happy to be here, and we're happy people seem to like us." For the third year in a row, the historic Hauser Nights, paying tribute to the Kingdom of Poland, Polish-Lithuania Commonwealth era, were on hand at the Cultural Village component of the festival with a number of different reenactments exhibits. They reminded festival goers that the nights represented the banner of Jasna Gora, a living history group dedicated to learning and teaching about the 17th century Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, named in honor of the defenders of the Jasna Gora Monastery in Częstochowa, Poland, during the mid-19th century Swedish deluge or potop. The Hauser Nights are based in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, though generally performing in the tri-state area of Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey. A demonstration of Hosanna Arms was conducted at the festival. Other attractions at the event was a cooking demonstration conducted by Carolina Kesta of Poland. Bigos, or Polish stew, was a featured dish. Polish News Bites. Poland seeks extradition of Zerobora from U.S. Poland has formally asked the United States to extradite former Justice Minister Zbigniew Ziobro, marking a significant escalation in the government's efforts to pursue alleged abuses committed during the previous Law and Justice administration. Prosecutors have filed 26 charges against Ziobro, primarily related to allegations that money from the fund intended to support crime victims was diverted for political purposes. The extradition request was transmitted through diplomatic channels after Ziobro reportedly left Hungary, where he had previously received political asylum, and relocated to the United States. Ziobro has denied all allegations, arguing that the investigation is politically motivated and represents retaliation by Prime Minister Donald Tusk's governing coalition. The case has attracted international attention because Ziobro was the architect of judicial reforms that prompted years of disputes between Poland and the European Union over judicial independence and the rule of law. Tusk condemns rising hate crimes against Ukrainians. Prime Minister Donald Tusk has strongly condemned a recent increase in hate crimes targeting Ukrainians living in Poland after a widely circulated video showed several men assaulting a Ukrainian couple in Wrocław. Police arrested 2 suspects shortly after the incident. Speaking publicly, Tusk said violence directed at Ukrainians undermines Poland's national interests and benefits hostile foreign actors seeking to divide the two neighboring countries. Official figures indicate that Polish authorities have recorded approximately 180 hate crimes investigations involving Ukrainians during the first half of 2026. Poland's main opposition party faces split. Poland's largest opposition party, Law and Justice, is experiencing significant internal tensions after party leader Yaroslaw Kaczynski declared that more than 30 lawmakers had effectively left the party by refusing to reaffirm their loyalty. The dispute centers on former Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki, whose supporters have established a separate political association known as Development Plus. Although Morawiecki insists that he has no immediate plans to create a new political party, the move has fueled speculation about divisions within the conservative opposition ahead of next parliamentary elections. Kaczynski argues that members cannot simultaneously belong to the PIS and participate in competing political organizations. Several lawmakers aligned with Morawiecki's dispute that claim that they have resigned, maintaining they remain committed members of the party. Poland warns of possible Russian drone provocation. Polish security officials have warned that Russia may attempt to use captured Ukrainian drones to stage provocations against NATO members, including Poland and the Baltic states. The warning reflects growing concerns about hybrid warfare tactics that could complicate efforts to determine responsibility for future attacks. Authorities fear those drones could be deployed in operations designed to create confusion or falsely attribute attacks to Ukraine. Security analysts note that hybrid attacks, including cyber attacks, sabotage, disinformation campaigns, and false flag operations, have become increasingly important elements of modern conflict. Guest editorial: The Heart of Our Heritage. Reflections on the 46th Cheektowaga Polish-American Arts Festival by James Lewicki, the second President, Polish-American Congress, Western New York Division Chairman, Cheektowaga Polish-American Arts Festival. As the final notes of the polka faded, the last tents were taken down, and the Cheektowaga Town Park returned to its familiar quiet, I found myself reflecting on what the 46th Annual Cheektowaga Polish-American Arts Festival truly represents. For one weekend each year, our community does something remarkable. We transform a park into a living celebration of Polish heritage, filled with music, dance, faith, food, art, history, and fellowship. More importantly, we create a place where generations come together to celebrate not only where we came from, but where we are going. This year's festival reminded me once again that our Polish-American community remains vibrant and strong. Watching children proudly wear traditional folk costumes, families introducing grandchildren to their first pierogi or potato pancake, and visitors discovering the richness of Polish culture for the first time reinforced why this festival continues to matter after 46 years. The Polish-American Congress, Western New York Division, remains committed to preserving our heritage while ensuring it remains relevant and welcoming for future generations. Our festival is much more than entertainment. It is an educational experience, a cultural gathering, and a living testament to the sacrifices and accomplishments of those Polish immigrants who built Western New York community we proudly call home. This year's event would not have been possible without countless volunteers who devoted hundreds of hours before, during, and after the festival. They worked behind the scenes, planning, organizing, setting up, directing traffic, maintaining the grounds, welcoming guests, and solving countless challenges that most attendees never see. Their dedication to the foundation upon which the festival is built. I also extend my sincere appreciation to our outstanding food vendors, exhibitors, entertainers, folk dance groups, cultural organizations, craftsmen, sponsors, public safety personnel, the town of Cheektowaga, Erie County, and every organization that partnered with us. Your commitment allows us to continue presenting one of the region's premier celebrations of Polish culture. To every musician who filled the park with the sounds of polka, every dancer who brought centuries-old traditions to life, every cook who prepared treasured family recipes, and every exhibitor who shared a piece of their history, thank you. You are ambassadors of our heritage. Most importantly, thank you to the thousands of guests who attended throughout the weekend. Whether you have Polish roots reaching back generations or simply came to experience our traditions for the first time, your presence affirmed the culture has the unique ability to bring people together. In a world that often seems divided, festivals like ours remind us that sharing a meal, listening to music, and celebrating our tradition creates understanding and lasting friendships. This year's festival also demonstrated something else. Our community is resilient. While organizations across the country face increasing financial and volunteer challenges, the support shows by our attendees, sponsors, and volunteers gives me tremendous optimism for the future. Every parking pass purchased, every meal enjoyed, every raffle ticket sold, and every hour volunteered directly supports the Polish American Congress Western New York Division's mission of preserving and promoting our heritage throughout the year. As president of the Polish American Congress Western New York Division, I view this festival not only as the conclusion of our work, but as another chapter in our continuing mission. Throughout the year, we remain dedicated to promoting Polish culture, supporting educational incentives, preserving our history, and ensuring that future generations understand the invaluable contribution Polish Americans have made to our nation and our local community. To our volunteers, who are undoubtedly tired but proud, know that your efforts created memories that families will cherish for years to come. To our young people, I encourage you to become involved. You are the future custodians of the heritage, and your energy, creativity, commitment will ensure this tradition continues to flourish. The success of the 46th Cheektowaga Polish American Arts Festival belongs to all of us. It belongs to every volunteer who arrived before sunrise, every sponsor who believed in our mission, every performer who took the stage, every vendor who served with pride, and every guest who walked through our gates. On behalf of the Polish American Congress Western New York Division, thank you for making this year's festival another unforgettable celebration of Polish heritage. As we begin planning for next year, we invite you to remain engaged with the Polish American Congress, attend our events, support our mission, share your talents, and encourage the next generation to embrace the traditions that have shaped our community for nearly a century. Together, we honor the past, celebrate the present, and build a stronger future for Polonia. God bless you, and God bless our Polish American community. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Am-Pol Eagle and the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Mass mob to hold 58th gathering at Queen of Angels in Lackawanna. Buffalo Mass Mob will gather for its 58th event at Queen of Angels RC Church in Lackawanna on Sunday, August 9th, 2026 at 10 a.m. The church, located at 144 Warsaw Street at Electric Avenue, is scheduled to close near the end of the summer. After learning of the upcoming closure, Buffalo Mass Mob organizers acted quickly to schedule a visit that would support the parish community while respecting the church's plans for its final Mass. The August 9 gathering offers Western New Yorkers a chance to come together, celebrate Queen of Angels' legacy, and show appreciation for a parish that has served the community in the heart of Lackawanna, said Christopher Bird, Buffalo Mass Mob organizer. Queen of Angels has been a spiritual home for countless families, Bird said. We wanted to make sure the parish felt the love and support of the wider community before its doors close. Our hope is that this mass mob helps honor the history in a meaningful way. This week in the history of Buffalo's Polonia by Carl L. Bucky. The following is a list of events that occurred during the week of July 30th to August 4th. July 30, 1944. Monsignor Alexander Patas passes away after more than 30 years of ministry as pastor of St. Stanislaus Church in Buffalo. August 3rd, 1916. The city of Buffalo closes Fillmore Avenue between Genesee and Best Streets for an outdoor dancing festival. More than 25,000 revelers filled nearly every available space in the dancing area. August 3rd, 1936. Dr. Francis E. Franzak serves as honorary pallbearer at the funeral of Monsignor Nelson H. Baker, the revered pastor of Our Lady of Victory Basilica. While the body of Monsignor Baker was lying in state, an estimated crowd of 360,000 came to Lackawanna to pay their respects. August 5th, 1875. Founding of St. Hyaneth Parish in Dunkirk. It was the second Polish parish to be established within the Diocese of Buffalo. Don't visit Europe, visit Poland by Tom Terapaki. First of all, I have to apologize to all of you. I intended to be finished with telling you about my trip to Poland after writing 4 columns on the excursion. However, after reading a piece in the Buffalo News, I decided that I needed to address the topic of traveling to Poland just a little bit more. You see, the news recently carried an opinion piece by a syndicated columnist named Frama Harrop that was entitled 3 Reasons Not to Visit Europe This Summer. Those 3 reasons were the heat, oppressive crowds, and high prices all descending on the continent. She added, and if anyone needs a 4th reason, it's to recognize the growing resentment among many Europeans as the tourist hordes turn their town centers into trinket malls, eroding their way of life, and in process stripping what those places worth visiting in the first place. Europe not only experienced an historic heat wave this summer. There were wildfires in parts of Spain, Portugal, and Greece that have killed a number of people. Frama described the suffocating crowds that she experienced in places like Paris and Rome, pointing out that the Colosseum was a fabulous thing to see, but the discomfort of getting in was as memorable as the place itself. She added that post-pandemic inflation is reflected in the prices for restaurant meals, hotels, and airfare. All valid arguments. But it seems she ignored the fact that Poland is part of Europe. Central Europe, in fact, not Eastern Europe, and it's a great place to visit. European heat wave. Now, I fortunately managed to narrowly escape the European heat wave when I visited Poland last month. During my trip in June, the weather was excellent and it only rained once. Later in the month, Poland, like the rest of Europe, was hit with sweltering temperatures. A record high of 40.5 Celsius or 104.9 Fahrenheit was recorded in the town of Sublice near the German border. That weather was an unfortunate reality in Europe this summer, at least for a period of time. I've been checking with my weather app, and it seems as if temperatures in Europe are more moderate these days. Beyond the weather, it's no secret that much of Europe has been experiencing a massive wave of anti-tourism backlash in recent years. Massive crowds of tourists are causing overcrowded streets, environmental damage, and skyrocketing housing costs driven by short-term rentals. That has certainly drawn ire of local residents in places like Barcelona, which has become the main battleground for over-tourism. A couple other complaints about travel to Europe from Frama mention non-EU visitors being subject to more exhaustive identity process at the border, causing delays in post-pandemic inflation and a dollar that has weakened against the euro being reflected in higher prices. Let's start with overcrowding issue. During my trips to Poland, I haven't encountered any real congestion, even at the most popular tourist destinations. Sure, major attractions like Krakow Old Town, Maybork Castle, the Wielicka Salt Mine, and the Auschwitz-Birkenau Memorial drew multitudes, but not nearly the volume of tourists that would make a visit there uncomfortable. Reasonable prices. I certainly didn't encounter any anti-tourism or anti-American sentiment among Poles. On the contrary, they were very friendly toward Americans. I was also very impressed by the most, especially the younger Poles, were very conversant in English. It was interesting that many apologized for the less than perfect grammar while speaking English better than many Americans. As far as the identity process entering Poland, it wasn't really a big issue. In my opinion, it wasn't a prolonged process and reinforced a sense of security. Higher prices. I did not find that to be the case in Poland. I did not know about the day-to-day cost for Poles, but as a tourist, I thought that things that I purchased were very reasonable. In particular, I found the cost of dining out to be significantly lower than in the U.S. Even the prices of a roadside McDonald's we visited, no, I didn't eat there, I just used the bathroom, were much lower than in America. It's not just my opinion, as many travel guides call Poland a very underrated destination for tourists these days. Consider that renowned traveler writer Rick Steves recently pointed out how preposterously happy and welcoming Poland is, and how it's misunderstood by so many. Americans, he added, if you don't like a lot of tourist crowds, Poland's great. Safest country in Europe. There's something that Forma didn't mention in her article: safety. Many European visitors complain about experiencing pickpocketing and other petty crimes. It is important to note that statistical analysis point to Poland being one of the safest countries in Europe. It feels that way, too. Everyone in our group was comfortable walking outside at all hours. In fact, I have yet to encounter disreputable characters on the streets in Poland trying to work some type of scam. Some Americans are concerned about the geopolitical events when going to Europe, but even when I traveled close to the border of Ukraine last year, there seemed to be no sense of fear or insecurity. In short, I thought that Poland was a great place to visit, especially since I found Poles to be so welcoming to visitors. Maybe that's because hospitality has always been a big part of Polish culture, as exemplified in the well-known proverb, guest at home, God at home. Maybe it's because Americans and Poles have long had a close relationship, even during the communist era. Maybe it's because Poland has not been overwhelmed by large crowds of foreign tourists all over the years. While conditions may not be the same in the rest of Europe, my experience is that there are many more than 3 reasons, many more, that you should visit Poland. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Am-Pol Eagle and the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Epler fought in 4 wars, wrote Last Polish Soldiers of the 1939 Campaign. Basia's Corner, Basia Sindalowski. Remember me? My name is Adam Epler. I was born into an affluent family in Lviv, Austria-Hungary, December 1st, 1891. I was drafted into the Austro-Hungarian Army, serving at XI Artillery Brigade. I graduated from the School of Reserve Officers. After the collapse of Austria-Hungary, I returned to former Austrian Galicia and joined the Polish Army in November 1918. During World War I fought on the Italian front, and in 1918 completed an artillery course for officers which took place at Trento. I was named Commandant of an artillery battery in the 1st Krakow Field Artillery Regiment. I fought in the Polish-Ukrainian War and the Polish-Soviet War in 1920. I was transferred to the 3rd Legion Field Artillery Regiment. After the Polish-Soviet War, I completed military training courses in Turin and was promoted to major. In 1922 through 1929, I served as artillery officer in the garrison Zamka, and the 3rd Legion Infantry Division was stationed. In September 1939, I took command of the Reserve Center of the 20th Infantry Solomon and created Corbin Group that was later renamed 60th Infantry Division. Joined the independent operational Polonaise and fought in the final battles of the September campaign, including the Battle of Kok. On October 6, 1939, I was taken prisoner by the Germans, who allowed me to keep my officer's saber. With the help of Boy Scouts, I escaped and fled to Krakow, where I joined the conspiratorial organization of White Eagle using the pseudonym Kaczynski. In December 1940, I fled to Hungary and reached Egypt. I was awarded the Knight's Cross of Virginie Military. Posthumously, in 1970, Gold Cross of Virginie Military, Silver Cross of Virginie Military, 1921, Officer's Cross of the Order of Polonia Restuta, 1928, Cross of Valor 4 times, Gold Cross of Merit, and Medal of the 10th Anniversary of the War of Independence. After the war, I settled in London, England, and I died on October 24th, 1965. I wrote the book, The Last Polish Soldiers of the 1939 Campaign, published in 1942 in Tel Aviv and reprinted in Poland in 1989. On October 28, 1994, President-elect Luenza posthumously promoted me to General Brigady, prominent Pole. The oldest Polish soldier in the Civil War was, as far as can be ascertained, Joseph Krolowski of Jones County, Iowa, who, though 61 years old, enlisted with the 37th Iowa Infantry in 1881 and served until 1863. The youngest were Edmund L.G. Zielinski of Syracuse, New York, and Louis J. Sentgaller and Stanislaus Rezniewski, private in the 17th New York Veterans Infantry, all of whom enlisted as boys of 16 years of age. Zielinski, then a high school boy, ran away from home in February 1863 to enlist with the 2nd New York Cavalry. General Nelson A. Miles soon made him his aide-de-camp, and he advanced to the rank of 2nd lieutenant for his bravery in the Battle of Hatcher's Run. Of interest, today, many people think that juniper berries help ward off bad vibrations when mixed in a potion called gin. The more we drink of this potent magic, the better the protection. The Greeks appeased the gods of the underworld by burning the berries and the branches as incense. They also burned berries at funerals to ward off evil spirits. Today, juniper berries often provide the perfume used in air purifiers. Some people also think that the perfume from the berries is a good luck charm against evil. Polonia's Gardens by Raina Senko Hankook. If you attended the Polish American Arts Festival held in Cheektowaga Town Park, July 24, 25, and 26, 2026, you probably noticed many ladies, including some very young maidens, wearing hair wreaths or enki, a lovely addition to their summer outfit. The flower crowns are very symbolic in Slavic cultures. They are traditionally made from fresh or silk flowers, herbs, and ribbons, and are worn during festivals, weddings, and folk celebrations. Historically, they were a headpiece for young girls and unmarried women, but today they are used by women of all ages. Wainaki symbolizes youth, vitality, and purity. The woven herbs and flowers carry special meaning. For instance, a commonly used herb, myrtle, denotes marital joy. They were an important part of the celebration of the summer solstice dating back to the pre-Christian era. Old traditions would involve dancing, a bonfire, and merrymaking. At sunset, ladies would toss their wanaki into a stream or lake. It was believed that in the manner in which it would float would determine their future love life. Would it be smooth sailing or a sinker? These midsummer festivals are still held today. Sophie Hadorowicz-Nab, in her book Polish Customs, Traditions, and Folklore, provides an extensive discussion of wanki and the important association with old Polish wedding customs. The bride would gather, weave, and adorn her special headpiece. At the conclusion of the wedding festivities, guests would gather around the bride and groom, singing special songs to remove the bride's hair wreath. The Akazapini symbolizes her entry into married life. It's a modern Poland. Unfortunately, many of these old traditions have faded away. The Polish American Arts Festival this year held a wanki contest. The categories of youth division, adult division, most traditional, and most creative were identified. I look forward to seeing the winners of this year's competition. Including here are some of the ladies and young maidens spotted at the festival with their special wanki. Thank you, Polish American Congress, Western New York Division, for your dedication to Polish art and tradition. It was a great festival. Polish-grown mini kiwis may help slow aging. Small kiwi-like fruits that grow well in Poland could help slow the body's aging process and reduce the risk of disease such as type 2 diabetes, according to new research by Polish scientists. Laboratory tests found that extracts from kiwi berries and Actodema calata, two relatives of the familiar green kiwi, significantly reduce the formation of harmful compounds known as advanced glycation end products, AGES. These compounds build up naturally as people age and are also linked to conditions including type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and other age-related illnesses. Lead author, Professor Wieletta Blaznik from the In Life Institute of Animal Reproduction and Food Research of the Polish Academy of Sciences said, the research was conducted in laboratory conditions, so its results require further confirmation. However, they show that kiwi berry and Actodenta camelata are particularly valuable resources of natural antioxidants and can support the body in limiting aging-related process. The research also found that the fruit's benefit came from the combined action of many different polyphenols rather than a single ingredient. Together, these compounds appear to enhance each other's effects, giving the fruit extracts their strong biological activity. Professor Blaznik said that the findings suggest the fruits could one day be used as ingredients in functional foods designed to promote better health. The results expand our knowledge on the health-promoting properties of Tessina fruits and indicate that they may find use and functional food ingredient in the future. The findings were published in the journal Molecules by researchers from the InLife Institute of Animal Research and Food Research of the Polish Academy of Sciences in Austin, working with scientists from the Poznan University of Life Sciences, the University of Warmia and Masaryk in Oslata, and the Warsaw University of Life Sciences. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Am-Pol Eagle and the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Polish and French scientists win award for déjà vu research. A Polish and French psychologists have won 2026 Marie Slawska-Curie and Pierre Curie Polish-American Science Award for pioneering research that has transformed scientists' understanding of déjà vu and spontaneous memories. Professor Chris Moulin of University Grenoble Alpes and Professor Christine Barkowski of the Jagiellonian University were honored for their work on involuntary autobiographical memory and déjà vu, which has revealed new insights into how the brain automatically retrieves memories. The biennial award presented by the Foundation for Polish Science and the French Academy of Sciences recognizes outstanding achievements arising from scientific collaborations between Poland and France. According to the Foundation for Polish Sciences, the researchers developed an integrated theological framework explaining how spontaneous memories and déjà vu are connected and how everyday experiences can automatically trigger this phenomenon. Their work has advanced understanding of the brain mechanisms responsible for automatic memory retrieval and could also have practical applications in clinical diagnosis. The researchers say the framework could help scientists study temporal lobe disorders and identify early cognitive changes that were previously difficult to detect. Professor Krzysztof Pajek, president of the Foundation for Polish Science, said international collaboration was essential to scientific progress. Modern science is a team sport, not an individual discipline. The most interesting things happen where people from different countries, different cultures, and different specializations meet. The mission of the Foundation for Polish Science is to initiate projects and programs that enable and strengthen research collaboration. The Marie Slawska-Curie and Pierre Curie Polish-French Science Award is part of a long-standing tradition. Polish and French science have needed each other for generations. Maria Slawska-Curie needed Paris, but Paris also needed Maria Slawska-Curie. I would like this award not only be recognition of what the laureates have already achieved, but also invitation to further joint projects and the formation of new teams in which Polish and French science will co-create science in Europe, he said. The award is presented every 2 years through the international competition. 22 nominations were submitted for the 2026 edition. Each laureate receives a total of €15,000, comprising a personal prize of €5,000 and a €10,000 grant to support future joint research. The prize is funded by the Foundation for Polish Science and the Zygmunt Zelaski Foundation. Established in 2019 during the Polish-French Year of Science, the award honors scientists whose collaborations has made an outstanding contribution to research. The award ceremony for the winners of the 4th edition of the award will take place this fall in Paris. CBS featured segments on Kosciuszko. Alex Stronacki, chairman of the Kosciuszko Foundation Board of Trustees, was featured on a recent CBS segment that brought the extraordinary tale of Dragos Kosciuszko to millions of viewers across America. Stronacki was a guest of CBS News correspondent Mo Rocha in the Sunday morning segment, These United States. Revolutionary War hero Thaddeus Kosciuszko, filmed at the Kosciuszko Foundation headquarters in New York City, the program explored Kosciuszko's pivotal role in the American fight for independence and the enduring legacy of liberty and human rights. It can be viewed online at www.cbsnews.com/video/Tehes/States/Revolutionary War/hero/Thaddeus/Kosciuszko. Stronacki is a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist and an award-winning author of The Peasant Prince, Thaddeus Kosciuszko, and the Age of the Revolution. Widely regarded as a definite modern biography of Thaddeus Kosciuszko, he serves as chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Kosciuszko Foundation and previously served as the foundation's president. Distinguished journalist and editor, Stronacki was a member of New York Daily News editorial board, the founding editor of New York and New York, and a city editor of the New York Sun. Throughout his career, he is recognized for his insightful reporting, editorial leadership, and dedication to preserving and promoting the legacy of one of America's greatest Revolutionary War heroes. His latest book is a memoir about the family called Spies in My Blood, Secrets of a Polish Family's Fight Against Nazis and Communists. Polkas on Tap. Thursday, August 13th, Erie County Fair, Slade Park Gazebo, 5600 McKinley Parkway, Hamburg, 10 to 4, special delivery. Saturday, August 15th, German Polish Festival, 38382 Rod Road, East Aurora, 4 to 8 p.m., $6 admission, Captain Tom and the Hooligans. Tuesday, August 18th, Erie County Fair, Slade Park, 1 to 4, the New Direction Polka Band. Saturday, August 22nd, Ronnie's Polka Party, 5 to 9 p.m., St. Stephen's Bethlehem Church, 750 Worley Drive, free admission. Saturday, August 29th, Infant of Prague Summerfest, 921 Cleveland Drive, Cheektowaga, 2 to 5 p.m., the New Direction Polka Band. Wednesday, September 16th, Polka Boosters Meeting, Bill's Tailgate Party. Sign up is required. Polish Falcons, 445 Columbia Avenue, Depew. Doors open 7 p.m., 7:30 to 10. 7. Wednesday, October 21st, Polka Boosters Meeting, Polish Falcons, 445 Columbia Avenue, Depew. Doors open at 7 p.m., 7:30 to 10. Polka Concertina All-Stars. Wednesday, November 18th, Polka Boosters Meeting, Polish Falcons, 445 Columbia Avenue, Depew. Doors open at 7 p.m., 7:30 to 10. The New Direction Polka Band. Wednesday, December 12th, Polka Boosters Meeting, Christmas Party, Advance Tickets Only, Polish Falcons, 445 Columbia Avenue, Depew. Doors open at 7 p.m., 7:30 to 10. Special delivery. Polonia's Calendar, Tuesday, August 4th, Buffalo Bison's Polish Festival Night. Pre-game club level party, 5:30 p.m. with live music, great Polish food, specials, and more. Bison's Leadership Award presentation to Tom and Paula Golanowski of Happy Swallow. Polish American of the Year Award presented to Mary Lou Wyrobik. Post-game fireworks. Friday and Saturday, August 7th and 8th, St. Stanislaus Kosna Polish Arts Festival. 1124 Hudson Avenue, Rochester, 4 to 9 p.m. Friday and 3 to 9 p.m. Saturday. Saturday, August 8th, Derek Karsnowski Memorial College Scholarship Fundraiser at Depew Polish Falcons, 6:30 p.m. For tickets information, contact Jim Karsnowski at 864-4642. Saturday, August 8th, Polish immigrants in Buffalo and Western New York. Talk at Buffalo and Erie County Public Library, 1 Lafayette Square, 1 and 2 p.m. Speaker Deborah Hall Stonish. It's free. Thursday, August 13th, Research Night, Breaking Through Members' Brick Walls. Polish Geological Society of Western New York. State meeting hosted by members of Area 1 BOCES, 355 Harlem Road, West Seneca, 7 to 9 p.m. Saturday, August 15th, German-Polish Celebration. Spring Garden, 3838 2 Rod Road, East Aurora. Park opens at 3 p.m. Food available at 3:30 p.m. Performance by Polish Heritage Dancers of Western New York and SGTV Idlewiss Dancers. Music by Captain Tom and the Hooligans, 4 to 8 p.m. Admission $6. Saturday, August 15th, Our Lady Street Fair and Harvest Blessing Mass. Church of St. Casimir, 160 Cable Street, Buffalo, 4 to 6:30 p.m. Outdoor Mass, weather permitting. Procession at 6:30 p.m. Mass at 7 p.m. Fair includes ice cream social, bake sale, food court, palm weaving demo, Waineki sale, and more. Sunday, August 23rd, All Polish Composer Concert by the Amherst Chamber Orchestra, St. Stanislaus Church, 389 Peckham Street, Buffalo, 2:30 p.m. Free will offering. Garden party following the concert at the former convent. Wilson Street entrance. For garden party tickets and reservations, call 716-876-8108, extension 133. You have been listening to a reading of articles and features from the July 30th issue of the Am-Pol Eagle. We read from the Am-Pol Eagle every Saturday at 3 p.m. Your reader has been Donald. Thank you for listening.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have the Island Dispatch. Following that, at 5 o'clock is the Lockport Union Southern Journal, and at 6 o'clock, we have the Jamestown Post Journal. Stay with us for these readings and more. If you're listening to this, the following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability